AI can write an essay in 10 seconds, but I still miss the research. My car practically drives itself, but I still miss slamming the gears. I can text typing with two thumbs, but I still miss 10 finger typing. Progress is inevitable, but that doesn't mean we can't miss a few things along the way. This is not a boomer rant. I love technology. I really do. We have to make progress. That's how that's how life goes on. Continuous progress. And I have no problem with that. But I wouldn't want to give up all the experiences I've had along the way getting here. Look at technology. AI is all the rage. You know, it used to be that to do some Photoshop you had to have some skills. Now, all you need to do is be able to type a prompt. It's kind of turned an art form into a craft. Look at letter writing. Went from letter writing to email to text. Used to be you used to have to wait for a week or two to get a letter from somebody. And now it's instantaneous. It's the difference between handwriting something and thumb typing. It's turned something that's very intentional, sitting down to write a letter, into something spontaneous. You could argue whether that's progress or not. Look at film cameras versus digital cameras. I've talked about this one before. I was a film photographer for many years. Now I wouldn't give up digital photography for anything. That's not to say I bemoan the film days. The film days were awesome at the time. We progressed to digital, and digital has definite benefits, to be sure. We went from a 24 exposure roll of film to infinite number of digital pictures. But it's taken something away from it too, where it used to be that you had to know photography to get the right picture the first time because there was a delay in the processing, and if you didn't get the picture the first time, you couldn't always repeat it. With digital photography, you take 15, 20 pictures, pick the one you want. It took some of the skill out of photography. And it also took out the anticipation of waiting to see how you see how you did with your pictures. You used to have to send the film in. There used to be little kiosks around town where you could drop your film off and pick it up sometimes the next day. 24-hour service. That was really good. It used to be you used to have to mail it out and wait for it to come back, and it could be a week or two to see your pictures from your vacation or from whatever event you were photographing. And look at communications. Our cell phones from our from our dial-up party line telephone situation to cell phones that you can call anywhere. And we went from phone calls to texts. I used to hate text. When texting first became popular, I didn't like it at all. It was always my feeling that you already had your phone in your hand. Why would you not just call? I've kind of changed my changed my tune on that. In fact, I've kind of done a 180 on that. Most of the time, I just assume text because I'm not a big phone talker. Never have been a big phone talker. So I like texting now. And our phones, with all of the apps that are available, you can do just about anything on your phone. How about Amazon shopping? How about you've done some Amazon shopping on your phone? I have. I do regularly. If you think about it, that takes out a lot of human contact with store shopping, as opposed to store shopping, I should say. You have no contact with salespeople at all. You can't browse the same way. You can't do hands-on shopping on Amazon. Of course, they make returning real easy, but that's not the same thing. Would I give up Amazon? Heck no, I don't want to give up Amazon. Do I miss store shopping? Sometimes. Not Walmart in the early afternoon. And speaking of phones, how about maps and GPS? You have GPS on your phone? Of course, all cars have GPS now, or most cars have GPS now, so you really don't even need the GPS on your phone anymore. But it's there. It kind of replaced maps. I still love maps. I'll always love maps. I like being able to hold a map in my hand and see everything right there. I wouldn't want to give up GPS either, but it does change your awareness. With a map, you have to have a pretty good idea of where you are in order to figure out where you're going. With GPS, you just follow the turns. It traded awareness for dependency. And how about personal transportation? The norm used to be stick shift cars, manual transmission cars. Now they're hard to find. I've always liked the manual transmission. I like to feel like I'm driving when I'm driving. It's not the same with automatic. Automatic's easier, no question. And I think that's the whole idea in progress, is trying to make things easier. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you have to decide for yourself. Manual transmissions I miss. I do have a manual transmission in the Jeep, but I don't drive it too much. If I replace it, I'd like to have another manual transmission, but they're harder to find. And you've got carburetors versus fuel injection. I don't think they I don't think they make any carburation engines anymore. You used to be able to fix those things. You used to be able to adjust those things. Not quite so easy to adjust cars these days. No more points in condenser and spark plugs and all that business. It's progress, to be sure, and cars sure start a lot better than they used to, and they run better than they used to be honest with you. But if you're a tinkerer, they're a little harder to tinker with now. And I can't think of progress without thinking of recreation and camping. When I was growing up, we always camped with a tent, so to me that's what camping is. Camping is not with a trailer, not with an RV. Now you see RV parks everywhere, and people call it camping. I don't call it camping. That's just me. And they've even come up with another term called glamping. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but it's camping in a tent, but with all the amenities. A bed inside a tent. I don't know. Give me a sleeping bag, air mattress. That's camping to me. I used to enjoy the rustic camping. The really rustic camping with pit toilets, vault toilets, whatever you want to call them. No showers. Showering out of a dishpan. That's camping to me. Where entertainment is concerned, we've gone from records to streaming, with several things in between. It was 8 tracks, it was cassettes, it was MP3 players, and now it's streaming. We've traded our vinyl record collections for playlists. Is it more convenient? You bet. Is it progress? Depends on how you felt about records, I guess. They have made a comeback, so there must be some nostalgia factor involved there. Some interest in the vinyl. We've traded owning the music, owning the records, to accessing the music. We've kind of done the same thing with newspapers. We've traded physical newspapers to online podcasts and streaming info channels. However you get your news. You get most of your news online, probably, I'm guessing. I do too. Their social lives have changed too. When I was growing up, we had the neighborhood to run around. Our neighborhood was as far as you wanted to ride your bicycle, visiting friends and doing things outdoors. And now neighborhoods have gotten a little smaller. Kids don't seem to be outside as much as they used to be. They interact online. And again, it's another thing that takes personal contact out of our lives. You do all your interaction on the internet, you don't have that personal face-to-face contact. Zoom is not the same to me. It is to a lot of people. A lot of people do their transactions, their physical contact. Well, it's not physical contact, but their face-to-face contact online. Zoom meetings and Zoom this, and you go to school online. It's progress. Might not be one of my favorites, but it's progress. Trading outdoor activity for indoor activity. I don't know. Trading adventure for safety. I don't know. I think people need some adventure in their lives. That's just my opinion. Another place we've lost personal contact with people is banks. You have ATMs if you just need some cash. You can do your transactions all on your phone or on your laptop. You don't even have to go to the bank to cash a check anymore. I resisted that for a while, but that is very convenient. I cash all my checks remotely now. It's progress. But I used to know all the bank tellers by name. Go into cash your paycheck, go into make a deposit, make a withdrawal, whatever you're going to do. You had to go in to talk to the teller to do that. Not the same now. You don't have to. You can, but how many of us do? A lot of what you call progress is to make things easier, but it takes away the anticipation. Our need for instant gratification now is, maybe it's out of hand. I don't know. I did a whole video about instant gratification. It'll be somewhere up here, back here, I think. We used to anticipate getting letters from people. We used to anticipate getting our film back from the processor, like I mentioned before. We used to anticipate things coming in the mail. Oh, we still anticipate Amazon. I do. We usually have Amazon coming, like I said. So, and episodic television used to be, well, it's coming back a little bit, but it used to be very, very common. The cliffhangers of early television would get you coming back next week to get the next installment. That used to be very common. We went through a period where it wasn't, and now it's coming back a little bit more. Like the Reacher series, maybe you've watched that, or Sons of Anarchy a few years ago. Looking forward to that next one next week. And sometimes the season ends on a cliffhanger as well to get you coming back next year for the next season. It made a comeback, so it must have some popularity. Maybe it's just a marketing tool. I don't know. And every generation thinks theirs was the best, whatever you're talking about. And to them, it probably is. I think the way we had it was probably the best for us. I wouldn't say it's really better than it is now. It's different than it is now, to be sure. It's okay to enjoy the progress going on around us, but it's also okay to miss some of the things from our past and some of the experiences that they gave us. There's nothing wrong with that either. So what do you miss to progress? What do you think progress really improved? And what would you never want to go back to? Hit me up in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Well, thanks for coming by. If you're a regular, thanks for coming back. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for another one every Sunday at 10 a.m. And you're welcome to subscribe as well. Till next time, peace and joy, my friends. See you next week.